and he with the index finger, and
he knew what you
my
really
mom
doing.
knew. Well, he didn't, but my mom knew that I was like treading thin ice there, and that my brother, just because I acted like it was bad to him, he thought it was bad.
It must be bad.
He's like at school to his friends.
Yeah.
Well, this to you, man.
I was playing mind games with him. And my mom was like, "No, stop that now."
That's like Ross and Monica's friends. I have like a heavenly glow behind my head this week. I don't know if you guys
do. It's like a halo.
Yeah. Halo, halo. You can see my halo. People that don't tune into the YouTube miss so much.
They miss out. They really do. All right, Dave, that's enough of that. Okay. What's happened there? So I changed up the order a little bit.
I saw that.
You're keeping us on our toes.
So, yeah, just got to make sure you know what's going on. That's all I got to say about that. You guys ready to go?
Ready.
Yeah.
All right.
We're already 10 minutes in.
Yep. So let's make it happen. All right, here we go. Audacity. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 126. Podcast. All our recordings are A-OK, ready to go. And by our, I mean myself, Chad Viss, and then my wonderful co-hosts, Dave Mann and Josh Owens.
Yeah. We're wonderful, all right.
We're here.
That was just us. Like when you didn't introduce us both at the same time, both of us are like deferring to who's going to go first.
Yeah.
Dave, we're such gentlemen.
Yeah, I know, Josh. That's what I was going to say. It's like you stole the words right out of my mouth, which is not very gentlemanly.
Well, Dave, you know that I wouldn't do that on purpose.
No.
I never in a million years.
I think you were doing it just to help.
Yes.
I will say this, Chad. I just ate, and I'm feeling great. And it wasn't Frosted Flakes, but it was on a plate.
Was it dried dates?
No, but that would have been cool because I could have went bad dates. I could have like reached out like Sala from Indiana Jones, and then I could have busted into the whole dun 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 dun, and we could have like spent 5 minutes.
All right,
just
let's roll it back and start again.
Yeah, all right, Josh.
That's 10.
Chad, I just turned off my recording.
All right, so the podcast.
Chad, that's the kind of stuff
we're giving away some stuff that we're gonna do.
Yeah. Hey, everybody! Don't forget, we're giving away a PS4. It is our eternally year-long PS4 giveaway.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait just 1 minute. We're giving away a PS4.
Yes, here we are. We're back here again. Remember this?
Serious?
Absolutely.
Dave, what the heck? How do we win this PS4?
I'm going to tell you, Josh.
There it is.
Awesome. All you got to do every week is something different within every 4 weeks. So after
super vague so far.
Every month. Okay, so every month, if you're first of all, let's talk about our Patreon supporters. If you jump over to patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer, you can drop us $1 or $1 million or $5 or 900,900 bucks or like all those bucks in betweens or dollars, and you can get an entry every month into this giveaway. Now you don't have to do that because every month there's also a different way to enter, and all you got to do is pay attention to the podcast and submit your entry that month. This month, I'm pretty sure that I forgot what it was. I think it's just submitting us a topic. Is that correct, Chad?
That's right.
That's right. So this month, all you got to do is submit us a topic, which several people have done already. We're going to talk about some today. But every month, we also have possibly a bonus method to get an entry for the podcast. And we just announced last week, if you're listening, that after this podcast, we're going to live stream a Let's Play of the new party game from Sony Interactive, That's You. And so we're
That's right.
Play. Josh, Chad, and I are going to play that along with a few listeners, And if you comment on the YouTube video, whether it's live or whether it's later before we drop that method, you will also be able to get an extra bonus entry. So, I mean, hey, get your entries in.
I'm going to tell you what it sounds like to me. This is just my take on this.
Yeah.
Just having heard this just fresh, just right off the top of my head. Seems like you can't afford not to enter.
I don't think anybody can afford not to enter.
It seems like there's only about 4 months between now and November.
Yeah.
And if you only kick in $1 per month, that's $4, and that's a solid automatic entry from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Plus a pretty easy entry every month.
Yeah, you can't even buy a 10-piece nugget for $4 these days.
I mean,
$4 is nothing.
What a deal.
$1.49 10 pieces at Burger King, but
those are crappy. I'm talking about McDonald's.
We're talking about real
$5.
chicken.
Actually, isn't it $5 gets you 20? I might be wrong.
That I don't know. I don't really eat at McDonald's.
All right, look. Do you want 20 chicken nuggets
I'm
or do you
off
want
at the McDonald's at my house because they're not 24 hours anymore. Boo.
Oh, that's terrible.
But anyways, yeah, Josh. I mean, it's crazy. I know,
Man.
but we're giving away a PS4. And if you want to get on that and get a chance, do all those things I just mentioned. I'm not going to mention them again because, hey, you can rewind this and listen to it. I can't. Well, technically I could, but I have to stop my audio, rewind it, listen to it all. Then we have to restart the audio. It would take a long time, and it would mess up our YouTube channel. We're just not going to do that. So go back and do it yourself and get your entries in. Chad.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm done.
So, all right. Some of those questions and topics that were submitted, we have those for you. So we're just going to transition right into those. We have, at this moment, I have 4 questions for us.
Topics. That's the new
Topics.
intro.
So, questions. We're going to answer those. Those of you that submitted these questions, like Dave mentioned, got an entry into the PS4 giveaway. So congratulations. You're one step closer and have one entry better chance in your favor to win the PlayStation 4 that we're doing. First question. Have the power.
I like it already.
So here you have the power to do this. You can make something happen tomorrow between 2 choices. You have 2 choices. Which one would you make happen tomorrow? 1,
spaghetti fingers.
A sequel. Okay, a sequel.
Okay.
To the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
All right.
So Spider-Man just came out. Tomorrow you can make the sequel to that movie come out, or a PlayStation 4 game will release tomorrow. Which one do you make happen? Dave.
Me personally?
Yeah. Well,
Spider-Man Homecoming sequel tomorrow.
All right.
And I say
how about you, Josh? Okay, you got an explanation, please.
Yes, I say that because I've got plenty of games coming out between now and the Spider-Man game, and I'm going to be playing the Spider-Man game for a long time, and I don't want to just rush it. But this Spider-Man movie was amazing, and the Spider-Man sequel to that movie is probably not coming out for at least 2.5 years, which I don't like.
More than that, I bet.
Yeah, so I would much rather have that sooner, just because I've got a lot of video games that I can play between now and then, and I'm going to take my time with that Spider-Man game.
Okay, fair enough. Josh?
It is interesting that's Dave's reasoning, because it was my reasoning for the opposite answer. I would love to have the Spider-Man game right now, because I feel like I'm pretty happy with the cadence that we've hit with the Marvel movies in particular. And then we get, like a DC movie or like another good kind of movie here and there. So like, I'm pretty happy with the cadence of the movies. And while, yes, there are a lot of good video games coming out very soon, I'm super excited for the Spider-Man video game. So I would love for that to come out tomorrow, because I feel like I can watch other movies in the meantime.
Funny enough, I agree with one of you.
Well, it had to go one of 2 ways, I think.
So I agree with you, Josh. I would in the time frame that we're in July and August. There's not a ton of really. I mean, there's some things coming, but I'd love to play a Spider-Man game tomorrow. Since Spider-Man: Homecoming just came out, one, I could go see it again, which I think Dave, you were able to see it again, which would kind of satiate some of that. Give me more Spider-Man. And two, if Spider-Man sequel came out tomorrow, Thor hasn't happened yet, and that's going to mess up the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
The Infinity War stuff is coming real soon, and that's just going to throw. If Spider-Man 2 is out before that, then that's just going to throw the timeline off completely.
I don't give a crap about that because I have the power. It doesn't matter.
That's true. That is part of it. So that would be me. I would take the game over the movie if I had the power, which I would in this situation, to do so tomorrow. So good question. That comes from Mr. Evan Steele, OG Patreon supporter. Thank you for that question.
I mean, technically, if you had the power, you would have a really crappy movie because they're not done with it yet. So
also true.
Trap the video game.
Also,
because it would be done with it. So
also now we have to go back to the crappy reality where we don't have the power to do either one. Yeah. So thanks, Evan.
It'd be bad versions of both. What a depressing question.
Man.
Thanks, Obama. All right, so next, this will give you more power. From another Steele, Jake Steele. He wants to know if you could live in any video game world as an NPC of that world, what game would you choose? Josh.
Now, this is a great question because this is a left turn on a question that usually gets asked, which is what video game world would you want to live in? And that gets left there. Or which video game world would you like to be the protagonist in? Being an NPC is a completely different thing altogether because you could be a shopkeeper like in a RPG, or you could be like just a background character that doesn't do anything and you just have a nice, quiet, simple life. So if I was going to choose a world to be an NPC in, I would say I'm gonna give two possibilities, but I'm not gonna cop out. I'm gonna choose one of them. One of them would be the Borderlands games. So
really?
Like Borderlands worlds. Yeah, because it's like just kooky and like it's still like anything's possible. You might die, but you also might like
high chance of dying.
You also might do something else crazy. You could be like one of the crazy like peripheral characters, like that'd be pretty cool. Or a game like I'll say The Witcher, since that's the most advanced, I think, kind of open world RPG that we've seen recently. Sure. Or at least the best example. And those people seem to have things going on. They're doing their thing. Not all of them are super happy. But
I was gonna say that most of the NPCs in this game, they're real depressed. Like they got the plague. There's witches and things that are taking their kids.
But maybe I could like be a king NPC, or I could I could just like live in the woods quietly with my family and farm the land like an honest person.
Look out for those water demons.
Yeah. Of those two, though, I think because The Witcher is so depressing, I would have to choose the Borderlands games.
You just survival. That Josh wants to be like
I just want to be a crazy person with no limits, and everybody else is just as crazy or crazier.
As the NPC, do you wear a shirt or you don't wear a shirt? I'm just trying to picture your character.
I'm thinking more along the lines of like one of the people that you encounter somewhere along the line, like somebody like a Scooter, or like one of those people. So probably, wouldn't. No, probably not.
Yeah,
I'm probably going topless for sure.
That fits. It seems legit. Yeah, it seems like that would fit.
But I am definitely wearing mesh, so like sort of in between.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's neon.
All right. Oh, even better. I mean, it's Borderlands after all.
For sure.
All right. Dave? You're the crazy on us.
I am. Well, mine's not too crazy. I think that I would pick, and I didn't put a whole lot of thought into this because I was really thinking about the next question. That was a conglomerate question from the Steele brothers. But anyways, I'm going to pick the Zelda, the Link games. Especially because Breath of the Wild is fresh in my mind. But I mean, they can all kind of fit into this category. But this one specifically, you have this big, huge, looming threat that's always in all of these games, right? But you can go all over these worlds and you find these NPCs that are like happy-go-lucky, like there's just no problem going on whatsoever. They're acting like just normal everyday life. I mean, they're painting your clothes. You got like characters like Tingle, for crying out loud, just running around doing whatever. Jeez, I mean, people just act like they're happy-go-lucky. They're not worried about stuff. I mean, every once in a while, there's a wife that has her husband's mad because she doesn't have any apples to make his favorite meal or something like that, and you got to go find apples. And there's another guy that's trying to impress a girl with crickets. But I mean, their problems seem small-time problems. I mean, forget the fact that Ganondorf is going to completely put the entire world back into ruin. It doesn't ever seem to happen, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It always seems to be stopped.
You don't have to worry about those bokoblins outside of town because they're not coming after you. You're not the hero.
All you got to do is get into a town because they're never in there. I mean, you go into the towns and the enemies aren't ever there.
Chickens are the worst. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you ever get in any trouble, you can just use a little pan flute and a chicken will come pick you up and take you to a safe place, or you can, whistle and you get a horse ride back to town. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to escape.
Now, do the NPCs have the same? Are they able to do things that the hero does?
Well, if you remember, in A Link to the Past, that little boy is playing that flute on a tree stump, and all the animals are coming to him. He's kind of controlling the animals with this music, so it leads you to believe
what does he turn into
itself. What do you mean? What does he turn into?
I mean, that kid, I'm pretty sure when he plays that flute, doesn't he turn into something? Doesn't he turn into like a log or an imp? He has a pretty messed up life.
He turned into something because of the light and dark world in A Link to the Past. It had nothing to do with the flute turning him into something bad.
No,
that's
that's
what he turned into on the dark world.
Right.
Everybody did that, even the hero. Nobody was immune.
Fair.
But we all got saved. And you specifically asked me to talk about one game, which is Breath of the Wild, and there was nothing like that in Breath of the Wild.
True.
Breath of the Wild is a much more happy place to be.
It seems that way. Yeah. All right. That's
good choice.
You guys.
And really, I mean, the guys that did try to traverse the town and got hobgoblins, all they really did was like knock them around a little bit. They never got killed.
You always see them just huddling somewhere, scared, shaking. Yeah. Waiting for the hero to come. All right. Well, fair enough. I went with a real safe choice. The NPC in the game that I would live in as an NPC would I'm going to choose I'm going to choose the most recent Madden game. That's right. I'm an NPC in the stand, and I just got to watch football games.
Yeah, but
Chad, ever.
No
I know, Chad. You're stuck in the stadium for your entire life. They never leave.
Bring it. Bring on the football.
That's amazing.
I love football.
Football
is my favorite sport.
Okay.
Chad, you know how long? Kill me? Chad, do you know how long it's been since you played a football game?
A couple years. I mean, last year I played 17.
Stuck in that stadium with no game happening for a couple years.
So when the game is off, nothing is happening?
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
Of course it does.
So when you're in Breath of the Wild, and that game is off, you're just
I'm sleeping
you're
in my
standing
bed
in a field?
No, I'm in my town.
Well, then I'm sleeping in my chair. I'm sleeping in my chair.
If you want to sleep in a chair with like 1,000 other people around you snoring and whatever else, be my guest.
We're NPCs.
I won't be doing that. I'll be in my bed.
Obviously.
Okay. All right. My mind went to something else completely. Chad, you are going to be okay. So as an NPC in a game like Madden, for instance, people play online against each other. So are we assuming that as an NPC you can hear, like, if they're playing online against each other, you can hear what they're saying to each other?
Oh gosh.
I mean, would that come over the speakers in the stadium?
Sure.
Because I'm just an NPC. I'm just watching
this technology they do now. They have like the coach's cam and everything, and you hear what they're saying. Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
All right.
If that's the case, Chad, it cracks me up to think of you sitting in the stands forever and ever, hearing 10-year-olds argue with each other.
That's right. While I'm watching Hail Mary after Hail Mary after Hail Mary, and people going for it on 4th and 27.
Yep. Hail Marys and blitzes every down. Oh my god!
This is not real football. This is changing
I
quickly.
love it. Oh,
but I don't have to worry about crazy animals attacking my town.
That's true.
I don't, in Borderlands, there's no threat of death.
That's true.
And,
I just want a little bit of the action.
Again, it's only peace in those towns.
Well, not necessarily in Borderlands. Borderlands.
Borderlands.
You were talking about me. Animals attacking my town. You were talking about animals attacking towns. Was not referring to Borderlands. Let's be honest.
It was, but that's okay.
No.
But
what animals attack the town in Borderlands?
Oh, you got skags.
There's those little dog things, skags. Yeah, they come out the very first town in the very first Borderlands. They go into
that's a town.
Door.
All the towns I have are like a shanty in a little wall, and there's no people anywhere.
And that's it. Let's move this. So we got Borderlands, we got Breath of the Wild, and we got Madden. I mean, hey, we all get our choices.
Madden is the best answer.
There I go. All right, next we have a question it got real weird in the way it was asked.
I don't approve.
But the question from the Steel Bros, Jordan, Jake, and Evan, they want to know, how long and how many games do you have in your backlog?
I was wondering if you were going to go through with it.
Are you going to read the whole thing?
I had to read.
Oh man,
I was going to, and I my better judgment maybe took over. But you got lots of games in your backlog.
Hey, I'm going to say this is going to be my answer. Okay, listeners. If you want to look up our friends Evan, Paco, and Jordan Steele, you can ask them for specifics. But my answer is all of the above, and I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. I'm gonna say for me, but we're talking about backlog as in like games that we're planning on going back and playing at some point, right?
Yeah, stuff that something has distracted you and you want to finish it, but something got you off it, and you'd like to go back.
As far as games that I like, I'm sure that I will go back and play at some point. There's probably 5.
It's not terrible.
If I want to be like more liberal with it and be like, the games that I would love to go back and circle back to, it's probably more like 10 to 15. But like games that I'm sure I will go back to and finish, I would say there's probably 5.
10 to 15, definitely more girthy than 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a girthier number.
More girth there.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice round 0.
Now, a question I should have asked is, are we also comparing like difficulty, like when you're talking about like is your backlog hard or easy? I mean, it depends on like the actual type of game, correct?
Yeah, that could be answered in this. That could be part of the question too. Like The Witcher 3.
That's a hard game.
A much harder backlog. Witcher, so that's not in my backlog. So that backlog part's not that hard. Lego Star Wars, I'd like to finish that. I'd like to finish Ghost Recon. That might be a little girthy. There's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on that bone, if you know what I mean. Mass Effect Andromeda. That's definitely a hard, girthy, Oh,
that's a firm backlog there. I mean.
Yeah. I would say for me, I've got games like Diablo and Divinity Original Sin, which I don't think are super easy. So I'd say those that would be hard there. But it is not a very long list, I wouldn't say.
Not very long. All right.
So
good question. Thank you to the Steel Bros, I think. Last question from Jordan Steele. He wants to know, and this would be it's not surprising this question comes from Jordan. What is the Platinum Trophy? So PlayStation 4, the Platinum Trophy you're most...
PlayStation 3.
Or Vita, I guess.
Yeah.
PlayStation or Platinum Trophy you're most proud of. Dave, why don't we start with you?
That's easy for me. I'm going to go with The Last of Us.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I think that's fair.
Absolutely. I would not have the patience to get that one like you did.
Nope.
But if I can give a shout out,
Yeah, I do. That's what we do.
My second most proud platinum would be the Vita version of My Name is Mayo. Have to give it a shout out.
Shaking his head.
Oh no.
Disapproving, disappointed. I mean, this is Jordan is the guy that platinumed The Witness, like legit, you know, and he platinums difficult games. He doesn't go get the easy ones. He disapproves of the 98 cents 5-star 1,000 top rated trophy platinum games. He's not okay with those. No, The Last of Us, real good one. What you should have looked to see what the percentage on that one is.
It's like 0.1 or something.
I bet it's under 1. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
Since I only have 3, this is a pretty easy question for me to answer. I would say the platinum that I am the most proud of would be No Man's Sky. The other 2 that I have, one being Tales from the Borderlands, which is you get it just for finishing the game. And then the third one I have is Rocket League, which did take some effort, but nowhere near as much effort as No Man's Sky. That was a very long platinum. And if I'm fair, kind of a monotonous platinum at times. Yeah. But I really, really liked the game, and so I wanted the platinum for that game. So I would say No Man's Sky.
Cool. As I was looking, I went through my trophy list and looked at my platinums. The very first platinum I got was just a year ago. Just over a year ago, June 20th of last year was the very first platinum I got. It might be my most proud platinum. It's low in percent. Only 0.9% of people have gotten it, and that's in Uncharted 4.
Oh, nice.
You know, I that game was one of my favorite games that year, and I really enjoyed that game. The only other one that's might be my shout out would probably be Battlefield 1. That one wasn't necessarily hard. I enjoyed getting that one as well. But yeah, so I forget. I'm under 20, I know, platinums, but my first one coming last year. It was interesting to go through them and look and see the dates on them when I got them. The one that has the highest percentage, if you're interested to know, is My Name is Mayo at 88.1% of people. So there's a handful of people that played that game are like, nah, I ain't doing this to get that many times to get the platinum and stopped.
How do you buy a game like that and not get the platinum?
Question. It's a real good question.
1.3% on No Man's Sky.
I have all those platinums.
You're so cool, Dave.
Good games.
So cool. All right. Those are the questions that we got from this week that we put on the podcast. Thank you. If you did submit a question, you earned an entry into winning a PlayStation 4. Congratulations and thank you. All right, let's move into what we've been playing this last week, brought to us by our good friend, Paint Trout supporter, Andy Pop Andy. And his word of the week, Vagarious. Mm-hmm. Guys, briefly, unlike last week's primordial soup word that, whoa, did we talk about that a long time? Vagarious. Give me the definitions of that word in one sentence, please.
This is one I'm actually pretty confident that I know, so I'm going to let Dave go first.
Okay. I wasn't prepared to go first because normally what happens is I don't
expounds
go
on
first.
Josh's.
I think that this is probably just a good variety of substances that are precarious.
Good one sentence. Very good. All right, Josh.
I'm going to say this means I'm going to say unpredictable.
Close. Very close. Well, actually, I guess that is true. The word is, well, they have the main definition as rare, and then they expound upon that and saying erratic and unpredictable in behavior or direction.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much right on. Vagarious. The way that sometimes our words of the week go.
Yeah, you don't know what these varied items are. It's unpredictable. See?
Right. There you go, Dave.
God, you guys are you're like
I know this
freaking dictionaries.
I know this word because I'm familiar with the other one of the other forms of this word, which is vagaries.
Right.
Vagabonds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that probably comes from the same root.
Yeah, and vague.
There we go.
Gary.
All right, Andy, thank you for the word of the week. I do believe, sir, that we may be in need of a new list if you'd like to continue that word of the week. I believe we've reached the end of the last list, which has lasted us quite some time. Dave, why don't you let us know what you've been playing this last week? What have you been doing? What'd you get into?
Well, last week, you and I played a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront. After we played some That's about You, which is the party game we'll be playing after this podcast. But Chad, you and I also played some Far Cry 4. I had kept a frog in my throat, and I had to clear it. And that got pretty exciting because, first of all, what is happening over there?
I just got shot. I've been shot.
Pop guns in the apartment this week.
But yeah, Far Cry 4, Chad and I played the multiplayer on that. We both had to jump in and beat several missions because neither of us had unlocked the cooperative, which we did. And then when we got in there, the game...
You should have shared that video. Oh my God,
I forgot. The game started glitching out to where in my game, Chad died. And his body fell down in the ground, but in his game, he resurrected, but in my game, he didn't. So his body was laying on the ground, and when he was shooting, he was switching guns, and his dead body, the hand was twitching, and different guns were flinging into his hand, and he was holding grenades, and then he pulled the gun up. He's laying face down on the ground, and his hand shoots up with a pistol, and he starts shooting his gun while he's laying there, just shooting it.
Like the thumb is going like
pulling the hammer back and everything.
With the thumb.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
All right, so
even though I was dead.
That video clip makes so much more sense now that I know the backstory behind it. Because I just saw that video clip and I was like, "What are you guys getting up to?" Now that makes sense.
Totally need to put that on the Facebook page because it was hilarious.
I also played some Mr. Masagi actually in the conversation today about platinums. I remembered I didn't platinum that, so I went in there and did that. On my Switch, I played a lot of Minecraft this weekend, and I also got into Snake Pass for a little bit because I think that went down to like almost 50% off or something like that on the store. That's a fun little game. It's got some really cool physics involved that you got to do to make this snake go around, wrap around things, and climb things, and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting. And then Death Squared released on the Switch as well. And actually might have just released on everything, but it definitely released on the Switch because I bought it and downloaded it. And I really like that game. I'm looking forward to playing it with somebody co-op because you can play it single player, but if any of you don't know, it's just that little. It's a puzzle game, and it's kind of a top-down view of different worlds, and you control different little squares. If it's just one player, I think you just control 2 squares. Maybe it goes to 3 to 4 or whatever later. But each stick controls 1 square, and you have to move them around different ways to get to the other sides, to get to the exit zones. Kind of like what's the game from I can't remember anyone's name now, but it's a little platformer where you're just the blocks.
I know what you're talking about.
His name is Thomas.
Yeah,
my name is Thomas, or his name is Thomas, or my name is Thomas.
Bithel, yeah.
That's right. So it's sort of like that, except it's a 3D puzzle game, top down. It's not just a platformer, but it's really cool looking. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that and playing it too. Thomas was in line.
What platform is that on, Dave? Death Squared?
Well, it's on PlayStation as well.
Oh, okay.
But I played it on Switch.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So that's it. That was it for me.
All right, Josh.
Gentlemen, buckle in because I have quite the list for you this week.
Click.
Are you ready? You got your pens and your notebooks.
Is that like a European version of? I usually say buckle up. I mean, buckle in makes sense. That's why I'm asking if maybe it's a different nationalities.
Yeah, Europeans say buckle in. I spent some time in Greece this summer, so
yeah, that's right. Forgot.
I'm very.
I don't know if you remember.
I don't know if you recall. I'm kind of a big deal.
But in Greece, they definitely used the phrase "buckle in."
Yeah,
buckle in.
They say it just like that too.
Greeks.
Buckle in.
Buckle in, fellow Grecians.
So the list I have for you, gentlemen, this week is as follows: Broforce.
Oh, say,
Sounded like
can
it.
you see?
Cecilia and I took a weekend trip to see her family this weekend, and so I didn't play a whole lot of video games. So that is the end of my list.
Cause real life.
Yeah, sometimes real life, it competes with the video game life, and I try not to let it interfere too much, but sometimes real life it has a way of just kind of taking over.
Heard that.
I ate a lot of really good food though, so
Hey, that makes up for it.
yeah.
Sweet. All right, fair enough. I don't really have a ton to talk about either. Dave already mentioned we played That's You, which we will be playing this evening with some friends of ours. So I believe there's still a couple spots left. If you'd like to play Let's You, we have you can play up to 6 players. It'll be the 3 of us, and we got a few spots available. So let us know if you'd like to join in and play 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central. And then I also played Far Cry 4 with Dave, which he mentioned. I forgot we played one game of Battlefront. It was real fast. And that's all I've been able to play this week. So I've been a little busy. Also with work and things of that nature. And it's July. And as we mentioned earlier, there's not a ton of backlogs in my backlog. So that's going to bring us right into the news that you can use.
If you so choose.
To do so.
Brought to us by Paco.
Sorry.
You can always tell when we're doing other things. And First-Hand Supply. Put your face on it.
Rub your face all up in
your
it.
face on it. Put it on it. Don't just put it there. You got to rub it on it.
Okay, fair. Not a whole lot happened this week. Not a bunch of news to discuss, but a few things. Overwatch, that game that we chose, South Dakota Gamers Game of the Year for 2016.
Boo.
Just
kidding. I'm only kidding.
Is starting some professional e-sports, e-leagues based on cities. So there's a lot of esports that goes on right now with Call of Duty, League of Legends, Dota, things of that nature as well. And they are going to start up some esports based in towns. And one of the main ones is, they haven't started it yet, so I don't know if they'll be good or not. But in Boston, they're going to have an Overwatch team, and it is partly owned by Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots. So we have, the New England Patriots, kind of a big deal when it comes to sports. They got lots of money. And he is now owner of an esports team, which to me, I was like, is that a big deal? I don't know. But to me, I thought it was kind of cool that you've got this guy that's obviously business-minded, business-savvy, good with sports, able to build a league or build a very good team, a dynasty, some would say, and now he's throwing his hat in the ring of video games. To him,
legitimizes esports.
And to him, it might not be like if it fails, it's probably not a lot of money out of his pocket, but it does put it puts a big name behind it and makes people go, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. There's a few other teams across the country. New York, I think, is having one. I think there's another sports owner, a basketball team owner that's going to be part owner of the team there. There's one out in L.A. I think there's one in Seoul, South Korea, and a couple other places in Europe. So it's a big deal. It's happening. They're making a big deal out of it, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes. So Overwatch esports.
It'd be interesting to see if Blizzard can get, because StarCraft is huge, and that's a Blizzard game. This would be another Blizzard game in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Next, D23, which is the Disney conference, happened this past week. I think was it in LA or was it Orlando? I don't know where it was. I want to say it was Orlando, but not entirely sure. And being that it was Disney, Star Wars was involved. And we got to see a Star Wars Battlefront 2 story trailer, which showed some Iden Versario's backdrop, some of her story going through. You got to see some behind-the-scenes footage as well of the game being made, some of the writers and the directors and the artists and things. That story looks real cool. I'm really excited to play that, and obviously since it's canon, it puts even more weight into it.
I'm wondering if that scene you see of somebody dropping down behind Luke Skywalker, if that's part of the multiplayer or if that's part of the story, because they were showing off the story. And that would be really interesting because up until this point, we have no canon story of what Luke has done since Return of the Jedi, except unless you talk about the vague talk in the Aftermath books and stuff like that. As far as I know. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure. No, he is in the Aftermath books, but it doesn't really focus on him.
Well, I should have said aside of what we know about since The Force Awakens comes out, that he trained some Jedi and had one, betray him and all that stuff. But like after, we haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
so that would be
cool. And this story will take us from the destruction of Death Star 2, Force Awakens timeline. So it will fill in those
the whole thing
years.
So this is going to span 30 years?
Correct.
Wow. That's
what they've been saying.
I do like I didn't know they just said that it was going to span 30 years. I thought it was just covering explaining what had happened. I didn't know it was leading directly up to it. I thought they were going to explain it. I just didn't think we were going to see her life like she was all the way up. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. I did really like the scene it showed of her dropping into the X-Wing. Or I'm assuming it was her. It looked like her getting in at the top, and then it showed basically a first-person view of someone getting. It looked very Battlefront-ish, which is,
You think it was an X-Wing or was it a TIE Fighter?
Sorry. I meant to say TIE Fighter, yeah. I'm just used to saying X-Wing because we're usually behind the Rebels point of view.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool thing about this game.
That's right. It's playing for the Imperials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we
see that? So that was cool to watch.
Are we anticipating that there's going to be like a typical like she turns at the end, or are we just solely going to see this from a opposite perspective?
Right. I mean, if you think of a typical story, especially video game stories, that she starts off bad and then sees the evil and turns to be good towards the end, I kind of hope she just stays Imperial and then eventually ends up being First Order.
Yeah.
Maybe she's a higher up in the First Order under General Hux or something, and she just stays bad. She just stays bitter and angry, and you kind of get to stay with that.
That's what I was
maybe empathize.
I kind of hope. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I kind of hope that she just stays bad, but it paints you a full enough picture of the other side of it so that you can at least understand.
Yeah, that would be more. I would enjoy that story more. I wouldn't be surprised though if they make it to where she turns and flips sides towards the end.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited. November, that game comes out. Can't wait. Yeah. All right, next, more Disney stuff. We got some gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
With a release date. They gave the release date. If Josh's
please tell me it's soon.
To be 18.
Oh, come on.
Release window. They showed a new world, Toy Story, which the very first time I would say probably that the Toy Story Pixar world in a game looks pretty much exactly like the movie looks.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I remember people talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 when the PlayStation 4 was when it was announced and released and people were standing in line. I remember doing an interview in the line at GameStop while people were waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5 release. And the PlayStation 4 had been announced. The date had been announced in time, and I was going through asking people for the podcast if they were going to pre-order an Xbox or a PlayStation, both, and what they were most looking forward to. And there's one guy there in line that was, and asked people what their games they're looking forward to. And one dude says, I can't believe no one's saying Kingdom Hearts 3. I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 3. That's got to come out. This guy's so excited. And that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013,
13? I think, yeah.
Yeah. So 4 years ago, that game came out, and he was hyped for it then. And I'm pretty sure if it comes out in 2018, that's 12 years since the last actual release of Kingdom Hearts 2. So yeah, the game has been out, been hyped for a long time. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
I think it's popular. The first one. I did play one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume it was the first one.
I would like to. Yeah, I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. I don't know what I can play. Like, there's all these remixes, and 2.8 prologue, epilogue, prelude to the story, and I don't know where to go or what to start to actually understand. But
I think I played both of them before all the remixes and whatnot came out. But like, I don't know. I know they're popular with the people they're popular with. They're like super popular. I don't really understand the appeal, which is strange to me because I thought I would. It's like all of the Disney characters in this weird like kind of hack and slash RPG type game. So it sounds cool, but the story is so convoluted, like worse than a Final Fantasy game.
Right.
And just so weird, and it's so hard to follow. And the gameplay honestly wasn't that good in the first two, in my opinion. People are probably shouting at their phones or whatever they're listening to this to on, but
shout out your phones, people with earbuds, because it makes you look crazy.
And also, we can't hear you. So
that also.
So I don't know.
You have to be louder for us to hear you.
I think I just heard one.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's cool, I guess, for people that are fans of this, but I don't really understand the appeal. But cool.
I wouldn't mind going back and catching up, but I don't know. I wouldn't know where to go, to be honest with you. So if you have suggestions, listeners, and something I could play to catch up on that, having never played any of it, let me know. I would like to hear from
you. The garbage, Chad.
Sick burn.
Shout at your phone now.
Start in the garbage where all those games are, apparently. All right, lastly on the news list, Atari has announced, and they showed, I mean, we knew an Atari box was coming. We talked about this a month ago or so. We got some pictures, and we got a statement saying, we're not trying to tease you specifics about what it does or, the specs, but here's what it looks like.
Isn't that by definition?
And it's got it. Kinda. But it's got the wood design look. It also has a black and red look. It looks like the 2600. And it doesn't have 4 HDMI ports as I have here. It has four USB ports. An SD card reader. And it says that it will have modern. Yeah, why would you need 4 HDMI
It's like you can hook it up to 4 TVs and have a big giant central command center when you play.
There you go.
Yeah. But they say it will be able to play modern games, so your Pongs and your, I would assume your old Atari 2600 games, but also they're saying modern games as well. So without knowing any specs or what it has inside of it, it's really hard to know what that means. I think most people, us included, or myself included, we're kind of expecting an NES Classic type console from them, but with them throwing in the modern gaming, that gives me a different thought.
Yeah,
this makes me excited.
Interesting for sure. Definitely interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. Keep your eye out for that.
I love the look of it. It's so nostalgic.
Yeah, it's very cool. I wouldn't mind getting that wood grain one. It looks neat. So
I used to have the wood grain faceplate for my Xbox 360. It was specifically Atari. I think it was wood grain and it had the red trim. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Like, I like that look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool. All right, well, that's going to do it for the news this week. Like we said previously, it's July. Not a whole lot really happens. So there we go. That's going to bring us into the new releases this week. Dave, there's not a lot here, but there is some things of interest. So why don't you let us know what we can spend our money on if we so choose.
All right, so you Destiny 2 enthusiasts. I was going to say Destiny players, but then I said 2, and no one's played Destiny 2 yet, so it wouldn't have made sense. But you Destiny players who are also enthusiasts about the upcoming Destiny 2 game, beta early access starts for you on July 18th for the PS4, if you have got access to it. So that's pre-order. Definitely there. It's exciting. I'm very interested and curious. I'm probably going to jump into Destiny sometime between now and its release just to refresh and everything. So that's there for you. Big game from Bungie. So jump on that. Also on July 18th for the PS4, Orcs Must Die Unchained. Now,
Unchained.
Would you say that this is a game that is basically called Orcs Must Die, and then it's unchained, like no holds barred, or are these just specifically unchained orcs that are dying?
I think it's the first because I do believe this is like a remastered version or all the DLC included because this game has been out before.
Ah, okay. Well, it's coming out again on July 18th.
And it's unchanged.
Also on July 18th for the PC and the PS4 is Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. So if you're wondering when to get that, it's over yonder on July 18th. Have either of you guys heard about this?
Yonder?
Yeah.
Nope.
I actually just, I didn't know that it was on the outline, but I just saw an ad for it on my Facebook news.
What is it? What's it look like?
From what I remember reading on the caption, it was like, it looks quirky, third person, and they said something about like setting up a home on an island or something. It sounds like a survival, like a third person survival type game. But it's definitely very cartoony type.
That type of stuff, always catches my interest, or at least look at it. I like survival stuff like that.
Yeah.
And cartoony doesn't bother me, especially after playing games like Harvest Moon and what's the one?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley. Yeah. So I'll look into that. That sounds cool. Then on July 19th for the Xbox One, the Destiny 2 players will be able to get early access on the beta for then. So you've got 1 day, PS4 players.
Yeah, suck it, Xbox.
Yeah.
And then on July 21st, the big one for Switch, Splatoon 2.
Get yourself one of those sweet, sweet headsets. Get ready for some Splatoon 2 action.
Now, Chad, were you saying that you didn't think you were going to get this?
Probably not. I mean, I played the first one and it was okay, but it just didn't hook me personally. I know people love it though.
I'll probably get it because it's something that is intriguing to me, and I like the idea of building some players to play with, and I know that we have some listeners that have Switches that will play that as well, and are looking forward to that. So I think I'm going to get it.
You might be able to convince me. You'll have to let me know how it goes.
And then last but not least, on July 21st, for both PS4 and Xbox One, again, you Destiny players and Destiny 2 enthusiasts, the open beta for all of you. just 4 and 3 days later, respectively.
Yeah,
respectively for both of you.
I'm glad that they're doing this because I never played Destiny, but I always I feel like it's not the type of game for me. But I'm going to check out the open beta.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see what it's all about.
Cool.
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm glad they're letting everyone play at some point, and it doesn't matter if you pre-ordered or not. You can check it out.
As far as first-person shooters go, sci-fi first-person shooters, and especially being online, this is like, and I know it's mostly because we're on the current gen now, or next gen then, but it's one of the most polished games of that kind that I've seen. It looks very good. The voice, the voice acting had its issues at the beginning. I didn't really care, but a lot of people made a fuss over it. But yeah, it's very intriguing and very alluring and very immersive in that sense.
Cool.
And Bungie, they have history of that in the past with Halo. So
cool.
Yeah, check it out. That's the July 21st. Now,
all right, so those are the releases.
Sorry, I didn't.
PC is at a later date.
Okay, so PC's not
PC is at a later date.
All right.
Yep, they have not announced that. So, so that game is fully released in September. So coming up real quick. All right, that's going to do it for the new releases, and thereby this week the podcast. We're going to forego the 20 questions in lieu of the stream for That's You. So to save a little time and help us get prepared for that, we're going to start that stream at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. There are still a few spots. If you'd like to get in, just let us know. Obviously, you would probably want to be on one of our friends lists. We can invite you to the party, but feel free to come in. The more people we have, the better. It plays up to 6. And I believe at this moment we have 4, maybe 5. So there's 1, maybe 2 spots available. That's going to do it. I do want to mention we are part of the SueEmpire.com podcast family. That's thesueempire.com. I actually went and listened to one of the podcasts here this past week, and they had an owner of one of the comedy clubs here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, on the podcast talking about running a comedy club and all the comedians and things like that. And he's actually a hypnotist as well, which was a very interesting listen to hear them talk about hypnotism and just in general, and then obviously the comedy side that can come with it as well. But SueEmpire.com, part of that podcast family. There's a good group of podcasts in there. We are one of them. So head over there and take a listen to some of those. This week, we will see you here in a half hour or so on the live stream. If you aren't able to make the live stream, that's fine. You can head over to the YouTube channel and watch the video later. And if you comment on that video, as Dave mentioned earlier, that gets you. I'm just see how long I can keep Josh holding his hands up like that.
I started it too soon, but I'm not giving up.
Commenting on that video will get you that additional bonus entry into the PS4 giveaway anytime for this month. So do it tonight, do it tomorrow, do it the day after that, or the day after that. I mean, you got 13 more days between now, or 14 between now and the end of the month, where you can earn the bonus entry for the PS4.
So would you say, Chad, that you're going to be you would say you can't afford not to, in the sense that when you go back to the beginning of the podcast and talk about our giveaway, it's just going to take absolutely forever for me to stop, because I have the ability to go on and on and on and on. So I want to make this known to you viewers and listeners, because I'm just kidding.
We're going to stop the podcast right now. So, all right, that's it. We're going to say goodbye. See you later.
Okay, bye.
A piece of pizza to you. That's you. Doesn't make sense, but I'm going with it.
All right, YouTube, if you're on here watching right now, stick around. We're going to stop this broadcast, but we will be back shortly with That's You. See you then.